Welcome to Arkansas Style. I am your host, Nicole Neiman. We have a jam-packed show for you today on this glorious hump day. We're nearing the weekend, so it's time to start making plans. And here to help to do that, our resident movie critic, Michael Cook. Today, we're taking a look at a couple intriguing options. One is the movie Nope, a neo-Western science fiction horror film. Hopefully Michael will explain what that means. We'll also take a good look at The Good Nurse, which is about an overworked ICU nurse. Can't wait to hear what he has to say about those. And it's Hump Day Happy Hour. Sydney from Rocktown Distillery will join us. Rocktown is right down the street from us over on Main Street. In addition to making spirits, you can belly up to the bar and get you a drink. We'll see what Sydney has in store for us today. Hump Day's Happy Hour. Now, from great drinks, we move to great foods. Local restaurateur Mark Abernathy will join us in studio to talk about his journey through the culinary world, one that started in Dallas with a TGI Fridays and includes the creation of a Little Rock legend, Juanita's. He then moved on to today's gems, local Luna and Red Door. But there's one thing Mark is most proud of, and that has nothing to do with food at all. We'll let Mark tell you what that is. But before all of that, it's time to get to today's bucket list, which is sponsored by AY Magazine. This month, we're focusing on comfort food. Our first stop takes us to McClard's, along with Down Home Catering. A spot literally had a line out the door when I got there. Check it out. Hey y'all, I'm getting southern here. One little bite at a time.
Absolutely.
So, hey, we're here on a new bucket list this month of comfort food. Now that's totally up my alley. I love a cold night and a big winter's meal. Where are we at?
So we're at McClard's and Down Home Catering. They have merged together in Little Rock, so this is so exciting. So you can get the barbecue, or you can get the turkey and dressing and pies and rolls. Are you ready to eat yet?
Can I get both?
All of it. Let's go. All right, this is definitely comfort food. Down Home Catering's right here. We've got McClard's right here. Do you know what that is, Nicole?
Chicken fried chicken?
Yes, with what on top?
White gravy.
Yes, she is learning. That's not just any white gravy. That is Tori's white gravy, which is spectacular. And then, well, let's talk about catfish for a minute. So this is Arkansas favorite. They have this every day on the menu, and you got their coleslaw, hush puppies. I knew this was coming.
I've never tried it.
Well, she's gonna have to try. Like, dig in and try. I'm gonna tell a story. So as a kid, I would actually go to our farm and I would catch catfish, and we would cut them down from. And this has like been iconic my whole life. So here you go, girl. You just pick it up like this.
Oh,
pick
you're
one.
kidding me.
Just pick it up.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Like,
okay.
Just pick one up. Like.
All right. Wow. We're just going for it. I gotta put a little lemon on it. It's fresh fish, you know. Oh, and the tartar sauce. Okay, that's delicious.
So when
You know I have this rule of trying nothing new for fear of liking it, because then I crave it. And
So
I
when
go
you
for it.
shake it, it falls apart. You know it's just cooked to just precise.
Look at that. Okay, I'm a lover of catfish, fried catfish.
So
Wow.
you do know what this is, right?
Oh, I'm gonna guess. Never had it though. Hush puppy?
Yes. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Hush puppy.
What's in a hush puppy?
Bread.
Bread. Do you put any sauce on this, or you just eat it like itself? Okay. Oh, and there's corn in there? All right.
So they make it kind of like a corn fritter. Corn fritters are the bomb, but this is so good. This is, the breading on this is spectacular.
Nice and crunchy. I like the sweet of the corn taste. Yeah, that's a good deal too. All right, Heather, we're gonna continue on with Down Home Catering's comfort food, and this is the chicken fried chicken, and I know it's white gravy, not ranch dressing.
Okay, well you're gonna have
right?
to hurry up and try this because I have to have some too.
Oh, okay, that's yummy too.
Perfection.
Holy cow.
So this has got mashed potatoes underneath it. You've got it vegetable, so it's healthy, right? Right, and we can break our rolls in half and let all the calories out. But they have now put this on their menu every day, so you can come in here for lunch and get this every day.
Oh my gosh, and look at the biscuits that go with it.
Yeah, that's a roll, girl. That's a roll.
All right, I'll get it right one of these days.
All right, now we're on my jam with McClard's. This is someone I've eaten at my whole life. It's a staple from Arkansas. We just pick up the meat, eat it, girl.
Oh my goodness, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with the ribs then. So barbecue is the thing down here, right? Okay, do you put barbecue sauce on these?
Well, that's called dry, so do you want it dry or wet?
I want it wet.
See how that thick that sauce is?
Oh, girl.
So McLard's makes this and you can buy it. So it's amazing.
This is not a first date meal. It's a mess, but I'm gonna go for it anyway.
Do it. Tell me what you think.
That is good.
It's good.
That's a
It's
winner.
good. So they also have pulled pork, pulled beef. That's amazing. They have their sauce on it. It's always great by itself if you're trying to do low carb, right?
Heather, I'm a fan of beans. I'm gonna give these a shot. These are sweet beans that are available right here, right?
And then they have their iconic beans as well. Have you tried those before? That's more like a chili mix.
That's yummy. Super sweet. I love that.
Super
Creamy.
sweet.
Okay, now these, she says, 94 years they've been making this bean.
Which bean is your favorite?
Or they're totally different. They're
Okay.
like a totally
I don't know,
different
but
meal. I could have
I'm
them
in
both
love.
together.
I'm in love with that. So let's see.
I am in love with that too.
Oh. This actually tastes like tamales to me. So speaking of
It tastes
tamales,
like chili. Okay.
that's what that giant mound is right there.
This looks like the bottomless pit of heaven right now. What am I
Iconic.
looking at?
This is iconic McLard's. Like this is what everybody gets when they come in here. This has got Fritos in it. It's their tamales
Woo! Look at it,
packed with
digging in
cheese.
deep. Look at.
Take that bite.
All right, all right. Now you said you like barbecue sauce on this?
Oh, I mean, you
All
can't
right,
go
come on.
wrong with more of this.
Come on, I want to be traditional. Show me the way.
Well, this is my tradition, girl.
Okay, so I need
Look
to get
at that
tamales.
sauce,
Okay.
some
Oh,
more
Lord.
sauce.
Okay,
But you
all
know
right.
I'm all about the sauce. I love it.
Oh wow.
This is so good. You can definitely come in here and share this meal because this is like a single portion, but I think it's shareable, right? But you can use a date. It's
A
date night.
family of four could eat this. I mean, and feel really good. Delicious. And that barbecue sauce on there, that is a nice little surprise, kind of zesty and fun.
So this is their original, and they actually have a new one. It's right there, the sweet southern sauce right here. So this is all new, so you might have to try this one as well.
All right, Heather, which one is resonating with you? Which is your favorite?
Okay, so on the McLard side, this is my go-to. I like it because it's lower in carbs. I tend to leave the bread on the plate and just eat the meats. I love the chicken fried steak, but I would lean towards the catfish. I like the light, crispy, like she does it right with that breading.
Okay, so this may be the first time you and I agree on a meal.
It was only our second time eating together, so we're good.
All right, well, there we go. So I'd never tried the catfish before, and that by far and away is my favorite. So we have Tori Morehart here.
Right.
Who is
It's my sweet friend.
yeah. Oh, so sweet. Well, you're my friend now too.
You're my friend now too.
So tell me about that catfish.
Okay, so I'm like you. I don't eat a lot of fish, and I sure don't eat a lot of catfish. I love our catfish. It's local. We bread it in the kitchen. It's light. It's crispy. It's made daily now. We used
Yeah, you just brought it on the
Yes,
menu,
yes.
right?
We used to only do it on Fridays, but now we do it every day. So it's just a staple on the menu.
Oh my gosh.
Every day.
I can taste the love in it too. It's so delicious.
It is good. Everybody likes it.
So
a
your
lot.
specials now, like I know that you put them on Facebook, Instagram, and such, but they
Yes.
change daily.
They do change daily.
Okay, so you need to tune in to the Facebook
Yes.
to see what they have on the menu.
Every day we post them. I usually post them first thing in the morning. A lot of times I pull them from the catering side. We try and get a little seasonal. The holidays are coming
Right.
up. We have the big
Right.
turkey thing going on. So,
All right, so Heather, let's tell our viewers at Arkansas Style, Tori, where can they find you on social media?
they can find us. The catering website is downhomecatering.net. And then our Facebook page, of course, is just McLard's Down Home, now where we post everything. They can always call me too. Most everybody just calls my phone number. So
That's what I do. So I have to tell Nicole. So
Yes.
when I think of catering and for the holidays and sweet potatoes and the mashed potatoes and the turkey and the pie and not the biscuits, the rolls, I mean, you have got to get on her list. But you got to do it early. You got to reserve it. But you can just come here and they have it all in big for you when you take it. And if you need to put it in your own bowl and make it look like yours, you can do that too.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. That sounds perfect. Well, Tori Morehart, it's really delightful to meet you, and thank you for sharing your treasures and your treats with us. Be sure to find Down Home Catering on their social media sites. Great time for the holidays to start thinking ahead.
And now you can get McLard's and Down Home all at the same place.
I want to thank McLard's and Down Home Catering for inviting us to try their delicious food, and this segment was sponsored by AY Magazine. Stick around. Movie critic Michael Cook joins us after the break. We're talking about a Western sci-fi horror film, as well as a story about an ICU nurse. You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back. Now, there are quite a few movies hitting theaters this time of year, but it can often be difficult to sift through them all to see which ones you'd like to actually check out and spend all your money on. Well, luckily, Michael Cook, our resident movie critic, is here to help us out. Michael, thanks again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, I don't know whether I like your description of the movies better or the movie itself, but
Tough call.
Either way, you certainly make it enticing for us to choose which ones we should spend our money on, which ones we shouldn't.
Yes.
So we're going to review two of them today. We're going to start with Nope, the name Nope. Now, it's a neo-science fiction, Western horror, yada yada blah blah sis boom bah. What has all that got to do with anything?
That's a lot to cram in. This is from director Jordan Peele. Nope is the name of the movie. Stars Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer. They play a brother and sister who have inherited their father's horse ranch in rural California, and what this horse ranch does is they provide horses to the movies where they do, you know, action movies or whatever. They were the company that would provide the horses. They're on tough times though, and at their ranch, something mysterious is in the skies. I'm being a little vague on the plot because I don't want to give anything away, but it's dangerous and it hurts people, to put it very, very mildly. And the brother and sister trying to figure out, what is this movie? It also stars Stephen Young, who's a former child star who has a ranch, who's somehow wrapped into this mystery in the sky. And Keke Palmer's character, she's trying to figure out a way to take a picture of it so they can all become rich and famous. Is the kind of part of the story. So it's a very layered movie with a lot of themes of Hollywood and how it uses people and kind of chews them up and spits them out figuratively. Jordan Peele is a fantastic director. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Whoa, 9 out of 10.
Very, very well done.
Okay, but let's unpack that a little bit more, because the layers of themes in this movie are fascinating, but I thought Jordan Peele was a comedian at heart.
He is, and there are some funny moments in this movie, but he's probably one of our best directors today. He did Get Out along with the movie Us, and his movies have a lot of really deep themes that sometimes it's worth seeing twice. Like, I still need to see this movie again because there's some things that I didn't quite catch on to, that there are really deeper meanings in this movie. This is what makes his films so enticing.
What does make a good director? Like, what's their job?
I think somebody who has a good vision and executes that vision so you can follow along their story and have, you know, good characters, a good plot line. So the leader of the picture to me is the good director.
Okay, fascinating. When we were showing clips of that movie visually, it looks like it's
very
stunning.
impressive. Yes, I wish you could see it in the theater. You can buy a DVD of it, or you can rent it on Amazon Prime. But it's worth, if you ever have a chance to see it in the theater, it's definitely worth seeing.
All right. Well, I've never seen a bad picture of a horse, so you got me hooked already with that. All right. So the second movie we're going to review today is The Good Nurse.
Yes, on Netflix. This one stars Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne. These are two Oscar winners, so of course you have top-notch actors. It's based on a true story from the early 2000s. Jessica Chastain plays an ICU nurse. She's a single mom with a couple of kids. She has a heart condition and she can't get health insurance for a year, after working at the hospital for a year. Eddie Redmayne is a new nurse at the hospital with her, and they develop a nice platonic friendship where they help each other out and look out for each other. He helps her along in her job, but then something weird starts happening after he gets there, and people start mysteriously dying in the hospital that should not be dying. And she begins to suspect, is he involved, my friend, or is he not involved? She works with the police to try to figure out if there's a mystery and is there not. Like the last movie, I'll be a little vague so not to give anything away on the storyline. This, in some ways, is kind of a typical kind of true crime movie that Netflix kind of churns out from a lot nowadays. But what makes it better is the performances of these two Oscar winners of Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne, who really elevate the material. And when they are at their top of their game, you're just floored with some of the emotional pieces of this movie that make it very, very enticing. But the plot can kind of plod along at times, and there's some unrealistic notions. But because of these two, I do recommend seeing it. So I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
All right. Did you say that was a true story?
Based on a true story, yes.
Oh,
so that's
my
why there's
Lord have mercy.
there's more to the story. Again, you'll have to see the movie to get the everything that happened. So it's also very gripping in a lot of ways.
For sure, yeah. I mean, when it actually is a true story or
Yes.
based on a true story, it definitely makes, watching it
Exactly.
a lot more meaningful and sometimes kind of sad too. Yeah. All right. Not to give the plot away.
Exactly.
But
We'll keep it a secret.
All right. Well, Michael, that's so exciting. I love having you here. I can't wait for you to come back and do some more reviews. Here is your chance to own your copy of the latest spine-tingling thriller from Oscar-winning filmmaker Jordan Peele, Nope. Just go to our arstyleshow.com to register to win today. Now, I know you are just like me. You love finding a great deal when you're shopping. When AR Style continues, we'll show you a place you can get name brand and designer clothes, shoes, and accessories for up to 70% off. You heard that right. Find out where when we come back. You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back. Now, as shopping ramps up this time of year, we are reminded of how expensive everything is. So you have to take advantages of chances to save some money. And Jade Moore, the owner of Clothes Mentor, voted the best of the best in consignment stores, is here to show us how to save and get cash back for our gently used items. Jade, thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for having
first of
me.
all, I have to confess, when I am shopping for others, I always find everything I love for myself.
Well, you're not the only one. I am the same way.
Okay, so what makes it, what allows me to forgive myself for shopping for myself is finding consignment like you have in your store.
Yes,
Tell us about
yes.
the concept.
Okay, well, we buy gently used clothing, things that have been in the stores in the past year to year and a half, designer items, non-designer items, and what we do is we look for the styles that we know people are wanting and we give cash on the spot for them. So we're constantly renovating our inventory. Every day we get new product in and every day we have new product that goes onto the floor. So it's really fun. So if you are a shopper, if you love to shop, in general, this is just a really fun concept because you get to come in and get our designer items like our nicer Louis Vuittons or Coach, Tory Burch, any of those brands for a fraction of its original retail price.
Yeah, it's like treasure hunting,
It
too.
really is. I mean, you always find a treasure.
What did you bring for us here on the mannequin, for example?
Well, she is my sassy one. So it's just a boutique dress, just a long maxi that you can wear in the fall and a cute denim jacket from Target, and you can literally get this entire outfit for about $25.
Oh my.
At Clothes Mentor. Yep.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? I could already see 8 million ways I would wear all of those pieces in different ways, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I'd be justifying it like, oh, I could style that for, 50 days and never feel like I'm wearing the same outfit
And
twice.
then whenever you're done, bring it back, get some money for it, and then go shopping again.
Yeah, share the love.
Yes.
Okay, look at this special piece here.
Yes. Okay, well, this one's actually mine. This is not on sale in store. Everything
Okay,
else is,
okay.
but I did get it from Clothes Mentor. So we also get some designer bags that come in, like Louis Vuitton, Tory Burch, Gucci, all of those items that do come through, and we give a little bit more money for those because we know how expensive and luxurious they are. So whenever you bring it in, like I bought this one for $1,200, and so whoever sold it, they got about 6 to 7, depending on how great of condition it was in. So we love getting those items in, and we love selling them for just a fraction of that price. Because
Right.
originally this bag is like a $2,500 bag.
Right. Well, and you don't have to do quick math. All you need to know is that you get, what's the commission?
You get about 35 to 40% back on clothing, and then our designer items, we're going to give you half for what we're selling it for.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a big payment, you
Yes,
know,
it
that you
is.
get for stuff that you're not using
and the
anymore.
holidays are coming. Clean out those closets, especially those bags that you're no longer using, and get some extra spending money.
So in addition to the bags, you also sell shoes?
Yes, we do shoes,
Okay.
jewelry, active wear, everyday casual wear. We do it all. Literally, if there's anything that is sitting in your closet that you have not used or worn in the past, say, 3-4 months or so, or you're going into this season, clean out your winter stuff if you're a little bored with it and come in and get some new.
Honey Bunny, these are legit Tory Burch shoes.
Yeah.
In a size 9, and here, boom. Who is going to race me to the store to buy those? Fabulous. What an incredible price you get on a designer pair of shoes.
Yep.
And then we've got some Lululemon leggings.
Yes.
Everybody has to have
Yep.
at least one pair of these in their
Those
closet, right?
Fly off the floor like hotcakes.
Yeah.
We cannot keep them in, so if you're interested, you better get in.
Yeah, exactly, right, yeah. And these are really cute. They've got the mesh legging here. So, I mean, everything is really updated and contemporary and current, and it's just been, you know, gently loved.
Yeah, gently
right?
loved. That's the best way to put it. And then we get to love you in return by giving you cash or store credit in the store, whichever one you prefer.
Nice. Now, you have 2 locations?
Yes, we
Okay.
have one in Little Rock off Bowman and Markham in that shopping center where Hobby Lobby, Whole Hog, all that is. And then in Lakewood Village Shopping Center, right next to Plato's Closet.
Okay, and what are the hours?
We are 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and we're closed on Sunday.
Oh, closed on Sunday.
Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Jade's got you covered for the holidays and beyond with
yes.
all of these treasures, designer, retail, but for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, well, thanks, Jade, for being
Thank
here.
you,
Yes,
yeah.
I have a sweet tooth for all of this stuff for sure. Well, now we're going to go back to a local restaurateur, Mark Abernathy, who's going to join us. And although his story has a lot to do with food, that's not what he's most proud of here in Little Rock. We'll ask him about that next. You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Now, the food scene in Little Rock has changed drastically in the last 2 decades, and one of the folks responsible for that is joining us now. Mark Abernathy, thank you for being here. I just crossed paths with you last week on a bucket list shoot, and so you and I are new friends, but you are old friends to the entire state of Arkansas.
I am.
Your resume that you sent, or your bio, or what have you, was 6 pages long, full of not little stuff, really, really big
Yeah,
stuff.
well.
So it's my privilege to have you here in studio with us
Well,
today.
thank you. I'm a native son and damn proud of it.
Yeah, right. Well, and you continue to give back to the community and to the state.
Thanks.
So let's start with present day. Right now, you are the owner of 2 restaurants, right?
Yeah, Local Luna and Red Door, and Local Luna just 25 years. It's hard to believe.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. I almost hate to say it. It makes me feel so old, but hey.
But that's not where the restaurant started for you, right? What is this story about Juanita's?
Well, I graduated with a degree in banking, but had hair down here as a hippie, bad habits, couldn't be a banker, so I said I'd get in the restaurant business, and the rest is history. So I was in the business in San Antonio for quite a while, came back here to visit, and I kept saying, well, this is not the kind of Mexican food I'm used to in San Antonio. And so I found this great old building down on Main Street, and all my buddies here said, don't do it, don't do it. That's a bad part of town. It's terrible. At the time, there were some working girls and winos hitting that area pretty hard. But I knew that the expressway was going to open up all the way in about 3 months, and that changed a lot of things.
Wow.
So anyway, we did it, and off we went, and we had lines out the door literally for years.
Wow,
It
what a
wa-
visionary you are. Now, what happened with white cheese dip? Did something happen there?
Well, my partner and I created the first white cheese dip in America. And when I tell people that, especially outside of Arkansas, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, right. But in the late 80s, when you couldn't buy what was called white smooth melt, Land O'Lakes came out with it. All the cheese dip at that time was, orange, was yellow cheese dip. And so we took a great recipe we had at Juanita's, switched the cheeses around to where we used mozzarella, provolone, smooth melt, all these great white cheeses, white cheddar, and created this great white cheese dip. But still, it was funny back then. If you went to Dallas, if you went to Mexico, you went to places, they didn't serve cheese dip. It was an Arkansas phenomenon.
Yeah, for sure.
So sure enough, we created the first white cheese dip in America.
Do you still
Hard
make
to
white
believe.
cheese dip
Oh
at
my
your
gosh, yeah.
properties?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
gallons of it every day, and I'm telling you, if one of my kids fell down and cut himself, he's gonna bleed cheese dip.
Sounds like a kid after my own heart. I love it. You raised him right.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
All right. Well, do you have a cooking background?
I really don't. My early memories are my grandmother, and by the way, thank you all for coming in and sharing the story of our comfort food, because we've been doing homemade, from scratch comfort food at lunch for 25 years.
Wow.
But those memories go back to me. So I can remember standing in a chair, dropping dumplings into boiling chicken broth as a kid. And so I kind of learned to cook from one of my grandmothers early on and just fell in love with it. But I've never been actually formally trained, as they say. But you do something for 50 years, if you pay attention, you get good at it.
Yeah, right.
And so
Well,
that's
and
kind of where I am.
Yeah, the passion in your voice speaks volumes for the quality of
and
your
I still love it.
product, yeah.
I still love it. I still do a lot of the recipe development and stuff like that.
All right, so Mark, on that resume that I'm talking about, or your bio, the restaurant part is about that much in comparison to your civic duty. I mean, you are so civically minded in giving back to the state and to Little Rock in general. Where should we begin?
Well, I'm proud of that. In fact, more proud than I am of being a restaurateur. A lot of that was just serendipitous, but I was involved with redeveloping Main Street because I had Juanita's down there. And so I got involved with historic preservation, and we created what's now the Soma district down there. We created an improvement district and underground the utilities and planted trees and all that, and made that a very accessible, desirable part of town for what was not when we started. And
if you've been to Soma, you can definitely appreciate how modern, updated, and clean and safe it feels. Yeah.
Well, and the merchants that came later built on what we started.
Yeah.
So so kudos to them. They've done a great job. And then when I was involved with the historic preservation, I was the president of Quapaw Quarter Association for a while, and we did a lot of great projects. And during that time in the late 80s, I was at a civic meeting, and the guy was talking about Central High, 1957, all this stuff. And here I was, 40 years old, and I didn't know what had happened. And
Wow.
I mean, and it's because collectively, as a community, we were embarrassed by what happened.
Wow.
And we had swept it on the rug. Nobody talked about it. And so I started digging around, and I found out it was really a story of incredible heroics. These were black parents and kids and white leadership that were willing to step up and risk everything to change what was going on, to change the narrative. So once I started thinking, if this is a story about heroes, not villains, this is something we should be proud of, not embarrassed by. Well, I put this great committee together, and they did all the heavy lifting. You know, it may have been my idea, but an idea is not worth anything unless
Starts with a dream, I think somebody very famous said too.
It starts with a dream. It does, but a dream is not worth anything unless you have people behind the dream that are willing to roll up their sleeves and take risks of their own. Because early on, we got a little pushback from the community. It's like, well, Mark, do you really want to stir this pot? I don't know. Maybe we need to just leave this alone. Yeah. Now, when we started, we never had any idea that that Bill Clinton was to be elected president.
Right.
So
well, let me just ask you, where is it today? It's a museum, right?
It's a national park.
Wow.
Wow is right.
And what's the name of it? The proper name?
It's Central High Museum National Park.
And Mark Abernathy, it was your dream that made it reality.
It was, but it was a lot of other people's hard work that brought it about.
For sure, but you are certainly a son of our state, and what a treasure, really. Thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you.
And you know, also feeding us so well, too.
Come eat with us, please. We're still around.
Next week, we're going to feature Local Luna on our bucket list, Mark.
And
thanks for coming in.
That.
Really a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Now, from the local restaurant scene to a local distillery, Rocktown is in studio. Get ready for Hump Day Happy Hour when we come back. You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
And they're great.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Now, Halloween is gone, but the spirits remain. Don't worry, I am a woman of great restraint, and I waited on you all at home before I started dabbling into this. It is time for Hump Day Happy Hour, and joining me is Sydney from Rocktown Distillery. Thank you so much for being here, Sydney.
Hello.
Is she the prettiest bartender you've ever seen, too? And her hair matches the whiskey. Is that coincidence?
No, it's not.
I love it, girl. You just pour your whole self into your passion.
I try.
Okay, good deal. So, Rocktown Distillery, I'm new to town. Tell me a little bit about it, because I'm sure everybody out there knows, but just for memory's sake.
Of course. So we are the first legal distillery in the state of Arkansas. We were founded in 2010. So our owner, Phil Brandon, started us up after he left Alltel Wireless. So when we first opened up, we started putting out a lot of vodkas, gins, moonshines, things like that. But as the years have gone on, we are putting out lots of whiskey products. We have a full line of spirits now. We are open 6 days a week, and we are offering tours of the facility 2, 4, and 7 o'clock every day that we're open, as well as we have a full cocktail bar now. So you can come in and just hang out with us, or you can just go to our retail section and buy whatever you need.
It is a really cool space to hang out in, that's for sure. And to belly up to your bar, you're a great company. When I came to visit, you taught me a lot about drink making, and you and your colleagues, you kind of compete with each other to come up with original cocktails. Is that fair to say?
I wouldn't say compete. I think we work together
for
sure, for sure. But no, I mean, we're just trying to be creative and have fun. It's a good dynamic. Some bars run a little bit differently, but we have a whole lot of fun, honestly.
And you are very creative. All right, so what are we going to make today?
All right, so this is kind of like a Tootsie Roll martini.
Wait, what?
The best name I could think of. It tastes exactly like a Tootsie Roll.
Oh my God, did you make this up?
Yes, this is my recipe.
See what I'm saying? I mean, this is amazing, Sydney. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's like, I got to take a breath. A Tootsie Roll martini, never heard of it.
So this is something I call like a master of disguise cocktail, because I don't really want one spirit to be emphasized. I don't want it to necessarily taste like pure liquor, even though this drink is pure liquor.
Okay.
So it's a vodka-based martini, just plain vodka, and then we're going to use creme de cacao, which is a chocolate liqueur, and then we have triple sec, which is an orange liqueur. both the triple sec and the creme de cacao are what are called cordials, which means a neutral spirit like vodka that is then sweetened and flavored.
So wait, hold on, slow down just a second, because
Yeah.
I've never heard of creme de cacao.
Okay.
And this is something that the distillery makes.
Yes.
And it's a spirit, but then you flavor it.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
So it's a neutral spirit, which is basically vodka. So for us, it's 100% corn that we've distilled 6 times. And then you can kind of proof it wherever you want. So this one's pretty low proof. It's a liqueur. You don't really use it as the main spirit, but it is flavored with chocolate.
All right, let's get down to business, girl.
All right.
Let's get
Let's
down to
do
business. Don't sing,
right.
Nicole.
So
Don't dance,
we're-
don't sing. Okay, so we got a
1
shot
ounce of vodka.
Okay,
And then we're gonna do 1 ounce of creme de cacao.
Okay. Delish.
And then we do 1/2 ounce of triple sec.
Okay.
And then this is optional, honestly, but I like to put a little bit of orange juice in it just to emphasize that orange. If you don't like orange, leave this out. It's not necessary if you don't have it. And then we're just going to ice her up.
What a beautiful shaker.
I know, right?
Usually you see them and they're silver.
I love the
Matches
copper
your
shakers.
hair.
We do also sell these at the distillery if you would like to purchase one.
Okay, all right.
And then you're just gonna shake for a minute. I like to wait until it hurts my hand, get it really, really, really cold. I
Hey,
feel like the colder it
Sydney.
is, the better it tastes.
My son Tommaso Thomas tells me, Mom, the only way to make a drink is make it so cold that you can't hold it in your hand.
Yes.
Hey.
And then pop that off. Going to strain it out.
Ooh, it's pretty color. I wasn't expecting it to be that color.
I know, right?
I love that.
That yellow definitely comes a little bit from the OJ, so not
Okay.
necessarily be a little bit lighter without that. And then now for garnish, we want to use leftover Halloween candy, of course. So I have some of these like pre-skewered. I really like them like that. You can just lay it across.
Pretty, pretty,
But
pretty.
I'll be honest, my favorite way to garnish with candy is a little bit silly. I like to put just a little notch right into it and then put it on the edge of the glass. I just think it looks
Look
kind
at
of
how
fun and
clever
campy.
you are. Yes.
Just like that.
Oh, look at this. Sydney, you are everything in a bartender. All right, now here's the moment of truth. I have to taste it to see if it tastes like a Tootsie Roll. Ready? Oh my God, it smells like a Tootsie Roll too. That's incredible. That is so much fun. Do you know where Tootsie Rolls are made? Do you know
No.
where they're founded?
Where?
Chicago.
Oh.
That's my town. So cheers to everybody in Chicago. Come visit us in Little Rock at Rocktown Distillery. And get a sweet treat from Sydney. Sydney, thanks for getting me through Happy Hump Day.
Of course.
Delish. Okay, now when we come back, we'll sit down with a mother and son to hear their story, one that searches for inclusion, acceptance, and empowerment. More on Alexander's Secret. After the break, you're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Now our next guest will truly touch your heart. It's a mom and a son and their story. It's Alexander's Secret. And joining me in studio now is Veronica Tess Myers and her son, Alexander Myers. Thank you so much for coming on the show to share your story. Absolutely. It's deeply profound, very moving, and yet very important. So it begins with empowerment, inclusion,
acceptance, and empowerment.
Inclusion, acceptance, and empowerment.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me about those pillars.
Well, one of the things that Alexander's Secret tries to do is to assist families that are dealing with the challenges of facilitating the public school system and other state agencies to get person-centered planning and appropriate services so that they can live in an inclusionary setting.
Okay, so that sentence in and of itself is very loaded, because when you have a child who has disabilities or has special needs, There are things out in the government sector that can help, but where do you find them? Is this something that you help people uncover as what's available to them?
Absolutely, based on our own challenges that we faced with trying to learn what those supports and services are, because a lot of times there's not full transparency about what's available. And along the way, I've had to learn on my own what is available, and what I try to do is share that with other families so they don't have to go through the challenges that I've had to go through for Alexander, with him being pervasive level of care.
Okay. Again, that is such a profound statement, too, for the fact that you had to do that on your own to figure out what kinds of services. So can you give us just maybe a couple of shortcuts on people, you know, that maybe would be obvious, you know, to you now, that would help them get their services? Like what agency, for example, should they start with?
Department of Human Services is first and foremost, because that's part of the Medicaid services program. That's where a lot of the billing takes place. Your case managers are, it's very difficult to get case management to be fully transparent, because a lot of times they don't know themselves what they're actually representing when it comes to mission statements and what it means to fully serve those that are vulnerable.
Okay, but start with the Department of Human Services and don't quit.
Yes.
Now you have a podcast. Tell me about your podcast.
My podcast is coming out mid-November. Thank you for that. This will be talking about adults with autism in our state of Arkansas and how the challenges have been a little bit detrimental at times in trying to afford those services, and making sure that Alexander, due to his Tier 3 pervasive level of care, which means he needs substantiated support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So Alexander will never be able to live on his own. However, these service providers and our state agencies, that's one of the things they talk the talk of implementing a child like Alexander to live on his own in his community, as opposed to being institutionalized. But that doesn't happen. Just as a note, for example, we have this Arkansas guide, which is circulated through DHS, Department of Human Services, and this is the Arkansas Guide to Services for Children with Disabilities. This is me and Alexander here in the far corner.
Wow.
And he was like 7, maybe 8 years old. So that tells you how out of date this guide is.
This is what they're still currently handing out?
This is still in circulation, and as you see on the back, you'll see the DHS logo on the back.
Okay.
And Alexander is 29 today, and I'm still fighting the same fight I fought then at 7 and 8 years old. He was diagnosed when he was 2. I'm still fighting that same fight for those same issues, and he's 29 today.
Wow. That is shocking. I mean, it really is. It's shocking and tragic.
Yes.
Thank goodness we have you out here doing what you do. Now, you also have a website, right?
Yes, it's
Okay, tell me about that.
alexandersecret.org. This is a website where I'm doing workshops and teaching those how to strategize with their loved ones that are in the public school system, and trying to get appropriated services within the school system within the guidelines of the Individuals with Disability Education Act, which affords the system itself to provide your students with a free and appropriate public education in their least restrictive environment. However, it's not always followed through as it's written, and as an advocate and as a parent, you have to fight to make sure and advocate that your child gets what they're entitled to and what they're eligible for.
Veronica, I've rarely met a person with more bravery than you, honestly. You talk very calmly, but I know the fight and struggle is very difficult. But you are so brave and poised. And I appreciate you sharing your story. And my very best to Alexander, who is such a, oh, you love your mama? Yeah, she's such a good mama. Yeah, you take care of her. Okay, now stay with us because you're watching Arkansas Style, and we'll continue after the break.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, don't forget to follow us on social media and share with us what gives Arkansas its style. We will see you all again next time with love. Mwah.
Thank you for watching Arkansas Style with Nicole Neiman, sponsored in part by Vantage Health Plan. Furniture provided by Hanks Fine Furniture.